What's happening, everybody? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Welcome to Moment with MoeSghetti. I am your hostesses with the mostesses, your auntie, mother, sister, cousin, best friend, always coming with the realness. MoeSghetti herself. Where my claps at? Welcome to Moment with MoeSghetti, where we talk about mental health and spiritual wellness, where we just, try to get ourselves together for better me, for a better we. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about healing the healers. So if you want to hear something about healing a healer or what it's like to what it means to be a healed healer, stick around, stick around, stick around, stick around. But first, before we get into all of that, you'll know I got to start this thing off with the church announcements. Now, some of these announcements be coming from my church for real. I am a member of the Central Church of Christ in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where Dr. Stephen N. Thompson is my minister. We are located at 1830 West Monroe. Come worship with us every Sunday at 10:30. Or if you can't and you're not local, we are on Joy 1340, which is a radio station and a website. You can stream us live then. I'll be there at that time and then here after that time. So I'm going to stay always plugging everything that I do because I'm here and I got the mic and you can't stop me. I look cute. Anywho, so for my church announcements, speaking of Central, we just came back from the Midwest Youth Conference with all of our young people, along with the Hampton Avenue Church of Christ and the Brentwood Church of Christ. We all rode Wisconsin deep on out to Ohio, and we had a really good time. We had a nice heavy emphasis on mental health and wellness. I had the opportunity to facilitate a trauma workshop for middle school age young ladies, and I really feel like we had an enlightening time in that space. They shared some of their perspectives, some of their understanding of what trauma is and what trauma isn't, and the ways that they are already participating in healing their own trauma. So I was impressed and very proud of the healing work that those young ladies, even at 12, 13, 14, 11 years old, were already participating in, some just instinctually. So kudos to them, and kudos to all of the counselors who rode on out with us and did that work with those kids. We had a really fantastic time. Special shout out to Brooks Griffin and Adam Page, who are two of my brothers in Christ, and Justin Carter, who are, if you follow me on Facebook, you will see a series that they are participating in, preaching about young adult ministry. So if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see the flyer for that, and we love to support them. But they were a heavy part of making the Midwest Youth Conference happen, making sure that things got planned, making sure that things flowed well, and they also facilitated at different opportunities. So kudos to them, kudos to all the kids, and I just love our babies because despite the challenges that they might be going through at home, they really use and appreciate the love that we give them, and I can tell in their behavior that they appreciate us. And so we just spend our time trying to pour into them because, like I said, all kids are our kids. All of the kids are our kids, and if you don't take time to pour into them, then you haven't invested in the future of the world around you. Period. But that ain't what the lesson's about today. I'm still in the church announcements talking about the Midwest Youth Conference. But we're back. We had a great time. Central got second place in Bible Bowl. We like to win. So that's good. But we coming back harder next year. So just be ready. Next up on the docket for my actual church announcements, we have Vacation Bible School coming up in August 9th through 11th. August 12th, we will be hosting a community cookout. So this is for people outside of the church. Come and get you a bite to eat. We'll be having an outdoor concert, a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. We'll be giving away school supplies. And so I will be rolling out the announcements and the flyers pertaining to that as we get closer to the date. But that will be out in August. And then ongoing right now, y'all know I'm a poet in the city. I likes to get down on the open mics. You can usually find me at the Q on Tuesday night. But right now we're talking about wild poetry. My friend, my big brother Prince Daniel is going to have to find a new home for wild poetry because it is currently taking place at the Happy Days Day Bar here in the Sherman Phoenix. But unfortunately, they will be relocating, and so he'll have to relocate as well. But for now, Wild Poetry on Thursday night is running some specials. Poets are free if you arrive before 7:30, and if you are a spectator and you arrive before 7:30, it's $5 to get in. Normally, it is $10. At the door. So take advantage, and help us close this thing out with a bang. I'll probably be there if I ain't got to work too late. I was there last week doing some singing and some storytelling. So if you want to see it, be like, I get down on the mic. Like I do more than just talk. Okay. And if you think I come out with some zingers behind this mic, man, y'all don't even know what you're missing when I actually write something. Like, man, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't know. But anywho, that's it for the church announcements for the week. So we are going to get into the topic of healing a healer, being a healing healer, being a healed healer. Well, I can't say a healed healer because we all continuously have work to do. But today we're talking about what it means and why you need to be in the components of a healing healer. Let me get some water. I'm going to go in. I got to wet my whistle. If you are watching, I know I got some family in the building. So if you've seen Moment with MoeSghetti before, go ahead and hit me with a what do I normally do? A heart. Hit me with a heart. Hit me with a prayer hands. That's what it was. Hit me with the prayer hands. Hit me with a heart. If this is your first time watching Moment with MoeSghetti and you are in the live with me right now, you can hit me with a smiley face or some wave, so I know who I got in the building. I got Afro, my business manager, in the building. I got MoeSghetti is always in the building. I got my good sister Tasha over here on the TikTok live. I appreciate y'all surrounding me with y'all love today as we talk about a healing healer. So let's get to it. Are y'all ready? All right. So we talk about healing all the time. To heal by definition is to become sound or healthy again. We talked about that before. We talked about why it's important to heal as an individual before. But I would like to put a little bit more emphasis on putting it in context of being a healer who heals, because everybody has to go through their own journey, but not everybody has necessarily been appointed in this world to be one of those who helps others through their healing journey. And that's what a healer is, one of those who assists or encourages others in doing the work. So regardless of whether or not, if you didn't identify as a healer before today, if you watching me, you most likely are some sort of a healer. Most likely. Or you know some. So if you are a person who facilitates and participates in helping other people get through their challenges, helping other people get through their hard spots in life, you are participating in this good old ecosystem called healing. I'm talking to you today. So, my healers, it is of utmost importance that we do the work, that we do the healing work ourselves. First and foremost, before anybody else, we should be the ones doing the healing work. And by the work, I define the work as identifying and attending to your own personal challenges. It is essential that as healers that we have an ongoing practice of attending to, identifying and attending to our own personal challenges. Because if we don't, and we call ourselves healers, or we call ourselves trying to heal other people, especially trying to help deliver people from things that we have gone through ourselves, we are nothing but hypocrites if we don't participate in our own healing. You do not want to end up being a healer that's not really a healer, that is ineffective, because at the core of you, you are simply a hypocrite. So it's essential That if you are going to write a book, if you're going to give a quote, if you're going to shake a hand, if you're going to do anything in regards to healing and connecting with other people, that you first pour into yourself. Because you can't demand of somebody else to do work that you're not willing to do yourself. And that makes you a hypocrite if you're not attending to your own healing. What is a hypocrite, you might say? Y'all know I like definitions. Hypocrisy is the practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform. It's the practice of it. So it's not warning, permanent ban will ensue if live video does not end within 5 minutes. Why? I don't know why TikTok is giving me a warning that I might be banned. Maybe that's just somebody playing around. Anywho, I'm not going to pay attention to that right now. Hypocrisy is not just a single action of you going against your own moral code. We all slip and fall. We all have our shortcomings. We all have our days or our moments where what we say we're about, sometimes we fall short of. But the practice of regularly claiming to have some sort of moral standard, regularly claiming to have some sort of practice, and then acting against it, not adhering yourself to it, is hypocrisy. So, as a healer, it is important that we do not fall into those patterns of holding people up, holding people accountable, holding people to spaces that we don't even desire or put any effort into holding ourselves to. Because why are you holding anybody to anything that you can't hold yourself accountable to? Are you even aware if it is possible to hold that standard if you're not willing to hold yourself to it? This is an issue that I ran into throughout my time when I worked with foster children. I would sometimes see some of the caseworkers pile on requirements that are very, very, very extensive for our parents in order for them to get their children back. And I would ask the question, if you were in this situation, would you be able to make it to all of these classes and maintain a job and make it to court and make it to visits? And would you be able to do that with your current resources? Would you be able to do that with the resources that this person, what type of resources they have? Is this realistic for you? And sometimes I would get some of those requirements amended or adjusted or some more resources allocated, because people would realize that they are holding other people to something that may or may not even be realistically feasible. So when mom said, you're not walking your talk, you're not walking your talk. So the talk is one thing. The talk is cheap. Show me actions. And if you're attempting to guide people through different situations, you don't have a map. You don't have no experience. You got guesses like I got guesses. So who's healing who? You talking while I'm healing myself. And that's not to say that we can't give people insight on things that we may not have touched directly. I mean, sometimes you just got some wisdom about you. I'm talking about the work. The work. Afro says, yep, walk that walk and talk that talk. People can smell a wolf in sheep's clothing. People will not trust you. People should not trust you if you are a healer who is unwilling to face their own journey, face their own stuff, face their own challenges. And why should people trust you? So, to be a healing healer, and to prevent being a hypocrite, first and foremost, we must maintain our humility. We must maintain our humility. To be humble is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's importance. That is not to say that you are not important. You are obviously important. If you were gifted with the ability or the insight or the desire to help other people, you have already been called to a high calling. That is undeniable. To be a healer is a very special calling because you have people's lives in your hand. You have people's trust in your possession. So that is a high calling. It is an important calling that should be absolutely taken seriously and respected. At the same time, you ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. you ain't nobody greater or lesser than me. So in order to be a healing healer, you must always maintain the disposition that you are walking this walk along with the people who you are holding hands with as they walk through. That humility will help you remember that you have come from somewhere and you are also going somewhere. That humility will remind everybody around you that they should be looking to the Most High and not to you, because when you do stumble and fall, you do not want your stumble and fall to affect the next person's walk. No room for ego. Oh, yes, mom. No room for ego. Because your ego will eclipse the reason why you're even here to heal. When you find yourself too important, you forget that there's a person across from you. There's a person that you have access to that needs your help. You will forget all about them and you will be doing it for vainglory. We don't have no room for ego. We have plenty of room for confidence. Please be confident. We have plenty of room for self-love. Please love yourself. We have plenty of room for holding yourself in high esteem. But we do not have room for you getting a big head and eclipsing everybody who is around you. E edging G. Wait, hold on. OD. Mom wrote something that's really clever concerning ego, and my brain does not want to read it properly the way it probably is supposed to be said. E edging G. God. I'm sorry. Something about you edging God out of the equation, I think, is what that's supposed to be. Cut that out the show. Rewind. Let's go back. All right. Be humble. Be humble. All right. Another thing that you do and that you need in order to be a healing healer is to recognize that you are not above help and maintenance. You are not above help and maintenance. So this is tied to the first point of remembering that you're not too self-important, is that you are not above help and maintenance. Help and maintenance. It doesn't matter how long you've been walking your walk. It doesn't matter how often you pray. It doesn't matter how frequently you go to therapy. It doesn't matter how well you clean your house and how many showers you take and how it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If when things go awry, you think that you've been doing it long enough that you don't have to do it no more in the future. It doesn't matter how long you've been on this walk. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You have to always remember that you are not above help and maintenance. Oh, thanks, Mom. Ego equals edging God out. Oh, I see how you spelled that. Thanks, Mom. Yes, Tasha over here on TikTok says that check-ins are essential. Check-ins are absolutely essential. You are not above help and maintenance. There are some people who they think that they have been doing things long enough to where they don't really need anybody's assistance. I could be guilty of that from time to time. I got this mentality. I know what I'm doing mentality. Yeah, just because you know what you're doing don't mean you don't need help doing it. You gonna lift the couch by yourself just because you know how it's supposed to go through the door, or you gonna get somebody to hold the other end so you can make the whole situation easier? See, sometimes we allow our ego edging God out to prevent us from allowing the people who God sent to help you and boost you and grow you and heal you. Because the person, it could be the most unexpected person who has a piece for you that will not only help heal you but help grow you to a capacity that you weren't even aware was possible for you, or you weren't aware that it was within your immediate vicinity. Remain teachable, absolutely. Remain teachable. It don't matter how old you are, and no matter how long you've been walking the walk. It doesn't matter how many tricks you got up your sleeve in order to be an effective healer or effective helper. Remain teachable. There's always something that you could receive. And, and don't think that you've done enough where you don't have to maintain your spiritual hygiene. The most consistent to my video. There you go. Some of the most consistent prayers I know are the oldest people I know. Why? Because they found the code. And they know that it requires you to remain consistent. It requires you to maintain asking for help. It'll require you to remain open to others. It requires humility. So remember, recognize you are not above help. You are not above maintenance. You need all the tools that you teach. Everything that you've received, in order for you to give to others, you received it in the first place because you needed it. So it's okay to need it along the course of your entire journey. All right. And you need a network of healers. Tasha was saying that check-ins are essential. In order to be a healing healer, in order to maintain, in order to keep your ego out the way, you need a network of healers. Listen this. I say this a lot, and I'm going to say it here, I'm going to say it loud. If you the strong friend in your group, if you the strong friend in your group, if you the strong friend in your group, you don't have anybody to turn to, that's your fault. If you the strong friend in your group and you don't have anybody to turn to, that is your fault. If you are the strong friend in your group and you don't have anybody to turn to, that is your fault. Why is it your fault? Because you've taught every single person around you how to treat you. And you taught them all that you don't need no help. That's why you don't get none. You don't open your mouth when you need help. That's why you don't get none. You don't talk to people about what's going on with you. That's why you don't get help. You don't surround yourself with people who are actually able to help you. That's why you don't get help. Some of our egos push other healers out of our circle because we want to be the important special one. Or can't nobody tell you nothing because you talk to God. I do too. And he told me come over here tell you that you're not listening clear. If you out here surrounded by people and you lonely because you won't open your mouth, that's your fault. And it could be hard. It could be hard. You know, I don't know your history. But again, if we're going to do the work, part of doing the work is identifying why it's hard and attending to that, and not just now recognizing that it's hard and staying there. I love a trigger warning because I love to let people know what's coming. But I don't want people to just stay triggered all the time. You got to heal through that trigger. Knowing that you got a trigger there lets you know that you Not just a dip from the situation, but something's broken here. I need to fix it. I am wounded. But if you're a healer and you're not surrounded by any other healers, you're going to get depleted. Because number one, you're a human being. Number one, you are a human being. And as being a human being, you are limited in resources. Eventually, you're going to have to go to sleep. Eventually, you're going to have to get you something to eat. Eventually, you're going to get tired and maybe a little irritable. Eventually, you need a pep talk. And if you haven't surrounded yourself by anybody who is able to provide any of those things for you, you're going to feel used. You're going to feel run out. You're going to feel taken advantage of. But if you haven't required any of the people around you to treat you with any kind of care or any kind of compassion, then you're stuck until you turn it around, until you open up, until you require people to pour into you, until you allow people who might be in your vicinity to pour into you. And not just the ones you want, but the ones that you need. Mom says, accept that you're going to make mistakes because you are not perfect. You are not perfect. You are not perfect. And so you need your accountability partners. You need your support team. You need people around you who are also doing the work so they can recognize when somebody on the team is falling a little flat. And there's nothing wrong with falling flat. I've been falling flat lately. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been falling flat lately. I have not had the most energy. Y'all could probably read it across the screen today. Even though I stay goofy. And I'm cute today too. So maybe it's not reading. But I've been heavy lately. And part of the reason I've been heavy lately is because I've been overwhelmed with doing the work. It's put me in a real interesting spot emotionally. All I can say is interesting because I can't say it's made me down, but it definitely ain't brought me up. It's put me in a really interesting, a mixed bag of a spot lately. And the people who have been in my circle, who have been seeing me, have been very encouraging. They've poured into me, and I had to check my own ego and let them do it. Because I'm the encourager. Okay, I have a podcast and I talk to people about wellness, and I'm a therapist and I have a clinical practice and I talk to people about their well-being all the time, and I'm still also a human being who needs some uplifting as well. And no, I ain't talk to you because you was on vacation and I was on vacation. And I've been busy and sleeping between being busy. But that's part of my village. That's part of my network of healers who I could have and should have called on to pull me up. But the important part is even though I didn't call on her, I had other people who I was around who recognized that I haven't been myself and gave some encouragement. So I didn't have to try to water myself from an empty bucket. Because eventually your own personal self-encouragement, that's going to dry out. Then what? Then you're a healer that don't want to heal no more because the burden has gotten too big. It's too heavy. But really, we're all only supposed to take our shift in life doing this anyways. I got that from Brother J.K. Hamilton. He preached at Renaissance Church of Christ last week. I was watching the live, and he said that him and Brother Hayward are just taking their turn. They're just working their shift. We're all just working our shift. But if you've ever worked anywhere that was an entrepreneurial life, you know there's a crew on that shift. We ain't working it by ourselves. Ain't nobody telling you to do burgers and fries and cashier and drive-through. That don't work. And you need a day off. You need a team. But if you ain't got no team, if you got a team and you don't use it, you gonna burn yourself out quicker and harder than you should have. So it's essential to be a healing healer because the whole point behind healing is so that we can make this life better. And if you're trying to help other people make their lives better, why would anybody want to be like you if you look unkept? That's why people be running out of these churches today. They look at a whole bunch of unkept Christians and they be like, I don't want to be that. Why would I want to be that? Yo, y'all not even happy in here. So we can more effectively help other people if we help ourselves. We can more effectively heal other people if we heal ourselves. We can uncover additional layers of challenges and triumph when we attend to us. And that requires humility. That requires pushing your ego to the side. That requires remembering that you are not above criticism or reproach. You are not above needing help yourself and actually accessing that help from people who understand what it's like to walk your walk. Everybody ain't meant to pour into you, just like you're not meant to pour into everybody else. But when you deny where help can come from, because look, you have a little kid give you a word. All right. All right. Because I had one of these the 12, 13-year-olds really get the conversation going in my trauma session. Crack the whole group right on open. You never know where you can get a healing from. You never know where you can get a word from. But when you think you're too high and mighty, when you think you're too healed, too far along in your journey, too mature, then you get nothing. You get dust. And you can't run on that. So it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Doing the work is uncomfortable. But it's essential. Mom said you may need to take a step back and get yourself together so you can share a message and not a mess. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I even took a break. Because I needed to step back and get myself together so that I could share a message and not a mess. Because here's what happens when you're unhealed and you're trying to heal other people, your stuff starts to pour out all over the place. Your stuff starts right, Mom. You don't want to harm anyone. Your stuff that needs to be dealt with starts to pour out all over the place. And you start misconstruing the messages and the healing and the things that are meant for you. Until you start thinking that that's meant for other people. And no, sometimes God is talking to you because he wants you to share that message with the other people. But sometimes God is sending messages to you because he wants you to have that. He wants you to heal from that. And then maybe later on, you can heal people from that same thing, but you need some work in that area. But I see it all the time. People get in front of folk, get on a microphone, get on a platform, get on in a pulpit, and they start spewing things that really that message was meant for them. Yeah, it probably can hit somebody else, especially if you're in a big enough room of people, but that was meant for you. That was meant for you. But you so blind to the fact that you need your own levels of healing that you don't even see that was meant for you and not meant for everybody else. Or you don't even know how to take it in and have it be meant for you and for everybody else. I try to differentiate that within myself for this. But I be like, God, I think you meant that for me and for them. So we gonna bring it to Moment with MoeSghetti. Look, I recently realized that it was a lot of people who I was trying to counsel to let go of things, take leaps of faith. And I realized that I was not taking the leaps of faith and I was not letting go in areas of my life. And I was being a hypocrite. Every time I opened my mouth and said, you need to go for it, I was being a hypocrite because I was actively practicing avoiding my own issues. And I said, how dare I? How dare I? And so, if you in my network and you need some healing and you haven't been receptive to that, it's time to change it up. It's time to allow yourself to be open to whatever it is you need in whatever direction that you need it so that you can be the most effective that you can be, so that you can have your own breakthroughs and so that you can really call people to the other side of that. Because it's hard to call people to the other side of something you ain't never been to. You can lead them there, but you can't. You can lead them to the edge, but you can't call them all the way over if you're not willing to call all the way over to the things that you need to go all the way over in. And with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let's take it up in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to your people and the opportunity to participate in the healing that I've taken part in my own life. I ask that you be with me, and I ask that you be with my audience as we go through this journey, as we grow through this journey to be better people so that we can be better communities, so we can be better children, and so that we can do your will. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank God. Amen. All right, y'all. So thank you for spending time with me in Moment with MoeSghetti. I really appreciate y'all for kicking with me and listening to me. You can catch me right here on where we at, Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Hi, every Sunday at 3:30. I have some fantastic interviews that on some really interesting subjects that are coming up for y'all, and I really cannot wait to roll those things out. And also, if you want to give me a little bit of financial appreciation for the work that I do here, you can hit my Cash App, hashtag MoeSghetti. Buy me a coffee, buy me a car, whatever's in your wallet and whatever's on your heart. I gotta pay for the studio space. And speaking of the studio space, I don't think I shouted it out. We definitely down here, the TDR Podcast Network, Tone Deaf Radio, and the Sherman Phoenix, always hitting it live with my great producer, Mr. Tone Deaf himself. He be hooking me up, yo. He be hooking me up, but he does great work, and we appreciate him having us down here. And I think I'm tired. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So, Tone, take me out. Where? Oh, you was gonna. Oh, see, take me out.